far as I understand, EOMM is engagement optimizing matchmaking. So essentially, it's matchmaking that is designed to keep you hooked onto playing the game. And it's designed in a way where it's not really skill based, but it's more so you're going to get a set amount of wins and losses that always keeps you wanting for more and more and more. It's kind of like, for example, if you play a game and you just wind up winning or just wind up losing, you'll get bored of the game. There has to be a level of difficulty or a level of adjustments to, like, you know, how you play the game. And EOMM is a way of taking that sort of like almost like an addiction pattern for a drug addict and applying that in a game system where you, let's say for example, you go on, let's say on a 5-game win streak, and then you go on a 4-game loss streak, but you don't want to end the night, let's say, on a loss. So you keep on playing until you win. And then let's say you want to, let's say, winning game 6. It's a way of like kind of getting a drug addict to just smoke more weed or take more hits or something of that sort. It's an addiction pattern system. Let's say you get a 7-game loss streak. I mean, a 7-game win streak. There's a good chance now you're going to be going up against a team that's going to be full of semi-pros that have been scrimming. 5 of these guys have no jobs, big guts, wearing diapers, so they're locked in. They're massively locked in. You know you're losing this game, full stop. And then, lo and behold, game 8, you lose. Or let's say you're on a 6-game loss streak. And then, okay, now I want to give you, guys that have 14-hour work day, 6 of these dudes that only one-trick Wolverine and Emma Frost. And then they're going to get banned. So they're going to come in with their side characters looking like dog water. Boom, win that game. That's the idea of EOMM, essentially, as far as I understand it. Now, is it actually the case or not? I think it depends. Because the way I play, well, you guys know, like, I play a variety of characters. I'm a flex player, so I play a bunch of tanks, I play a bunch of DPS characters, and I play a bunch of support characters. For me, I do experience wins and loss streaks, but not that often, actually. When I say streaks, I mean like 4 or more. So when I, let's say, play the game, I tend to get 2 losses, 1 win, 1 loss, 2 or 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 win, 1 loss. You know, so it kind of like ebbs and flows like that for me personally. Like, and I mean, of course, for competitive. For quick play, I don't really care. But for competitive, that's what kind of happens to me a lot of times when I play the game. You're put in winners lobby and losers lobby to keep the game shorter too. There are games where we do get stopped. I won't deny that. There are some crushing defeats I've had. Whether it be in stick stacks or outside stick stacks, or even currently where like there are games where we get dominated. But then there are also games where we dominate. There are games where I've carried, and then there's games where I've been carried. So it's kind of weird where I'm not too sure if the issue with Marvel Rivals is the matchmaker or the player base. Because I've said this before, and just hear me out. Because this video is going to go on YouTube too. That's why I'm kind of doing like a stream right here. So it's going on YouTube like immediately. Because it is, you know, big upcoming news for like Marvel Rivals, a game I play regularly. But I see that it's not really you, Cole. It's just that the team people keep on being dumb and throwing. Like, there are times where I'm not playing good, for sure. But I try to like maintain my role. And then there are times where I do have a guy on my team that's carrying. Other times I have to be a carry. But here's the thing though. I think that like, I'm not too sure if it's the actual matchmaker. No game can be perfect, right? Like, it's a hero shooter game. There's going to be things that you have to just deal with that are just like a stark reality. And I think one of the stark realities of this game is that in this game, there are folks that have climbed very high levels, only playing like 2 characters, right? Max, like 2 characters. They play, let's say they play Magic and they only play Emma Frost or some shit like that. Sometimes their characters get banned. Or let's say sometimes they're going up against a comp that counters their comp or counters their character. And then so they wind up playing like dog shit. Is that really the fault of the matchmaker, or is it the fault of the person not being able to actually play multiple different roles? But I think that ultimately, like, what's also very important too is that when you play this game on rank with certain characters, you get value more than other characters. That's just a flat out truth. That's just a flat out truth. And when you play with other guys in different ranks, rubber banding is heavy. So there are certain, oh man, last stream we did from Marvel Rivals was crazy because I was playing with Smoke. I'm GM1. Smoke is GM3. brother, man. I mean, we won. I think on the night we were like 9-6 on the night. 9 wins, 6 losses. I'm losing 20, 21, 24 on the last game of that night. And then I'm winning 18, 19, 20, 16. Even games I'm doing like really good. I got 3 medals. I got the most damage. I got the most kills. And I got me like a 3 or 4 kill streak. 20. What? That's it? There are some actual smooth brain, heavy, absolutely brain dead. But I think the point system itself, a lot of times, is a bit funky. So either way, now I'm done yapping for a second. Let me just get into what, it's not Guan, it's Jiyoung. So Ji over here.
I'm here too, by the way.
Sup. Okay.
I was just letting you have your moment. You were going.
Yeah, man, cause last stream, also listen, condolences on Diamond 2. Shit.
Dude, look, I'm not gonna make a big rant about it because, you know, we're doing a thing, so whatever. But look, man, all I can say is, like, look, there's a couple losses that I had, fair enough, it's on me. But look, what am I supposed to do when I'm getting paired up against dudes that consistently disconnect, go AFK, don't know when to Strange Portal, are doing wrong Loki clones, are asking why they need to swap when they're playing as Penny without the Rocket team up? Like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, the only thing you can do is just carry.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I'm doing what I can. I'm back in Diamond 1, woohoo.
Oh!
And so I'm going to work to get back into GM, and then after that, I don't know. This season might just be a bust for me. We'll see, and I'll start fresh next season. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We have 2 more weeks in the season, right?
Yeah, 2 more weeks. So I don't know.
Okay,
I'm gonna solo queue into Grandmaster because I know I can. I've done it before.
Oh, yeah.
After that, though, I don't know. We'll see where I'm sitting. But I'm gonna start fresh next season for sure. We'll go from there.
No, I feel you. Because I mean, after these, I mean, maybe they're gonna do some changes too. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out. I mean, maybe you already know because did you watch it before? This my rival Dev Inside.
I have. I watched it earlier today.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was in the city, so. MX,
that's cool.
I mean, I
figured the fact that you're doing this now is just like, okay, you've been clearly doing shit. So whatever. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. All right.
But
so
yeah, no, I watched it earlier. Without saying a whole lot, I find it interesting for certain things. But yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Matchmaking and ranking system, addressing EOMM concerns and more. Let's cook.
Rose, I'm Jiyoung. We've heard your passionate feedback and ongoing discussions about matchmaking and ranking in Marvel Rivals. Your voices matter, and we want to give you a transparent look into how these systems work and what we are doing to improve them. Quick heads up, any numbers used are for illustrative purpose only, and the calculation process is also simplified for easier understanding and does not represent.
Wait, calculation purposes. Wait, calculations. Actually, give us the math. Oh, hold on. Time out.
Yeah, we're see.
We're
they have never, as far as I'm aware, actually told us how the point system works. And now we know.
Because I was saying to chat earlier too. I think that's my biggest problem with this game. I think it's the point system. I think the point system is kind of funky. But I don't have a problem with the players because I think people are going to be just really, really bad at the game in certain character roles that they just don't play. So that's why I think it's important to fill. But you have to be competent in at least one character in every role. That's what I always say. At least one character in every role. You have to be really, really good at that character of your rank. So whether it be DPS, support, or tank. That's why I play all the characters. I play a lot of the characters. So at least I'm competent in at least one character of each of the roles. That's what I try to do. But let me see the math of the point system here. Let me see what boys cook with.
Competitive match.
Jiyoung.
Your score is calculated based on two key components. Base points and performance points.
Okay, yeah, we know that
Each
already.
weighted according to your current rank.
Sure.
The formula looks like this.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, it is a very long thing that I quite frankly just gave up even bothering figuring out. And I was
Hold
just
on,
like,
we can do it
okay.
though. We can do it though.
I mean,
think.
we could do it now, I suppose, if you really wanted to, but like,
But I don't.
But I would say it's a little more, first off, I don't even know how genuine this quotation marks formula is, but they do go more into detail on what base points and performance points are.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say, like, what the hell is A? Like, is A because, like your average? Is A an average or like is just like the character, or I don't know? Let's see.
Right, because like at a certain point, you look at this and you're just like, okay, cool, but what the fuck is base and performance? And you're like, great question. I'm gonna tell you later.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that right now, base points is like for every win or loss, there's a set amount of points that you win or you lose based on what rank you are. So basically, let's say silvers lose probably like a set amount of points, and so do, let's say, grandmasters lose set amount of points for every woman or gain or lose. But then also your performance tax on top of that, so you get multipliers based on performance. That's my guess based on the math right here.
Yeah.
The equation.
I mean, it's just they'll go slightly more into detail about it, but to make it very hyper simple as possible, base is just whether you win or lose dependent on how high of a rank the enemy team is, and then performance is, hey man, you got like a triple kill, that was pretty cool, and shit like that.
Right. Exactly. Okay, let's see what else we come with here. Jiyoung, talk to us. All right, base point. Okay, base points first. This category.
This depends on match outcome, your current competitive score, average competitive score of the enemy team. First, the match result determines whether you gain or lose points. Win and you will gain points, lose and you will lose points. Second, the difference between your competitive score and the enemy team's average competitive score affects how many points you gain or lose. If a player's competitive score is lower than that of the enemy team, the system recognizes that the player is challenging a stronger opponent. In this case, a victory will grant an extra bonus to the base points, while a defeat will result in fewer points deductions.
Okay.
The reverse applies when facing lower ranked teams.
Yeah, so basically, so funnily enough, the assumption that people have had, which is a fair assumption, is that whoever is on your team, like for example, like on Tuesday, you linked up with Smoke when you were a higher rank than him. Yeah. You were rubber banding. You were assuming it was because of Smoke. It's actually because of the enemies that you're going up against. The thing is though, that's kind of the same difference though. If you're going to link up with someone who's a lower rank, you're going to get matched up against people who are lower rank.
That's it, exactly.
So it's basically the same difference.
Yeah, because it seems to be, let me see here. So match outcome, your current competitive score, the average competitive score of the enemy team. So if let's say, again, I play with Smokey's GM3, I'm GM1. That means that maybe our team average is, let's say, GM2. And then let's say on the other team, you have GM3s and GM2s, so the average is, say, GM2, GM3. Because I'm GM1, I'm going to be losing out on more points whenever I lose, or I'm going to be gaining less points whenever I win, because the average of the opponent team is, let's say, GM3 or GM2, because Smoke is also, and I'm getting paired up with them because Smoke is also GM3.
Basically.
Okay. If a player competitive score is lower than the enemy team, the system recognizes the player is in a challenging a stronger opponent. In this case, a victory will grant an extra bonus to the base points, while a defeat will result in fewer deductions. The reverse applies when facing lower ranked teams. Okay. That's just all your rank, I guess. Yeah, that's base. Examples.
Players' competitive score, 3,500.
3,000.
Enemy team's average, 3,500. Win, plus 20 base points. Lost, minus 20 base points.
That's the same average between the two teams.
3,500. Enemy team's average 3,000.
So you should now gain more points because they're on a higher team average. Yes.
Points. Lost, minus 15 base points. Okay. Yes. So what that means is that, as far as I understand this, let me know if I'm wrong, but what this means is that, at least to me, because the enemy's team average is 3,700, it's 200 points higher, you and your team are facing a quote-unquote better team.
And so because of that, when you win, you get plus 25 points. But because the team is also considered to be a better team, if you lose to that team, no big deal. You only lose 15 base points.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Players
it's pretty much just somewhat straightforward. It's just like if you beat a better team, then yeah, you're going to get better rewards. And if you lose against them, then it's just like, well, yeah, the team is better than you, so I'm not going to knock you too hard for that.
But right now, the base points just kind of like they're just basically based on the rank, though. I think that's what.
Base points is pretty straightforward. There's really not too much brain power needed for that. It's pretty simple.
Enemy teams average 3,300.
Yeah, so this would be the reverse. Yeah, you gain less,
minus 25,
and then you lose more. Yeah. Performance points.
Which will also answer why there's random games where you feel like you should be getting a lot more points, but you're not. It's because you're randomly getting matched against people who are lower than you. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah,
or so games on the other side, when let's say if you're in Grandmaster, let's say you fight guys that are Celestial, and you beat them. Or let's say you're Diamond and you face guys that are in Grandmaster, you're now getting more points because you're Diamond and you beat a team full of guys that are GM. Oh, okay, cool. Now I'm getting a lot more points for that win.
Yeah, so like those random games where you win like fucking like 29 points, even though you feel like you did pretty good, but not like crazy. That's why.
Right. Blaze, the points need to be equal no matter what rank you're in. I mean, I'm not too sure if that's what because I remember folks complained about performance and how people wanted more points, and then they changed the system, I think, because folks complained, no?
Was that? I don't remember. I think they affected how much it was. I don't know how much they changed it, but they like changed how much it is. I forget.
Because like originally the point system wasn't there. I mean, the performance system wasn't there, right? I think, and then they kind of made that happen.
I think
in like January or February or something. Yeah, they added it recently. They added this year.
I'm trying to remember exactly how it was, but basically, I think they added it later, but then they changed it to how it worked because there were some characters that were getting like a better boon than others, or roles.
Oh yeah.
And then they changed it a little bit, which a minor spoiler, they're gonna get into that kind of stuff as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go with that then. Performance points.
This reflects your individual performance tailored to your hero's role.
Tailored to your hero's role.
Performance points reflect how well you played during the match.
Yeah.
Because heroes in Marvel Rivals have widely different powers and roles.
Correct.
We don't just tally up stats. Even if two players contribute equally to the outcome, their raw stats may look very different depending on which hero they played. Instead, to accurately evaluate your impact, we use several steps to calculate performance points. For each hero in the match, we normalize match stats to a per 10-minute value and convert that into a single performance value.
Really?
We compare that to
like
the
rounds in boxing?
Performance value for that same hero at your
performance comparison. Oh, that sounds really bad. Hold on.
rank, also per 10 minutes. That gives a hero specific performance coefficient. The better you perform versus the average, the higher your coefficient. If you played multiple heroes, we weight those to get your match.
You're not just getting paired up by how good you're doing specifically.
It's the hero in general.
They have to have a metric. So they're doing an average of everybody playing that character.
Yeah, that's actually kind of. Didn't Overwatch do something similar? I think they did. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't get into Overwatch.
I forget.
Like that.
Hold on, I'm here. For each hero used in the match, we normalize match stats to a per 10-minute value and convert that into a single performance. So it's like in boxing, you get kind of scored based on you performing a round. So in every 10-minute situation for a game, they deduce how well you perform in general. Then they look at your hero, and within that same 10-minute window, how do you compare to other characters, other players with that same hero? So, for example, let's say if you play Hulk, right? And then you do a 10-minute round, they're going to compare you to not just the general performance within that 10 minutes, but also how other Hulk players are performing across the entire network within that 10-minute window, too. That's crazy.
Yep.
Aggregate, if you played multiple heroes, wait, hold on. So then wouldn't it be beneficial to play heroes that are not necessarily played that often? So you're getting less comparisons, and if you perform well with those heroes, then when you get ranked or get more points, like slightly more points because you play a hero that's not played that often, if you win?
That is a fantastic question. that's pretty much all I got for you. There you go.
Oh shit. Okay. If you
That's pretty much it. All right. I got nothing else for you there. That's it. I mean,
maybe.
I mean, it depends. I don't know. I mean, I would assume it is a quotation marks average. So theoretically, it shouldn't matter. But I don't know. I guess that answers the question about certain things. Like, for example, it's something that you've noticed, and I've definitely noticed it too, since he's one of the characters I play as a lot. And it's like, man, it feels like I never get any fucking points when I play as Rocket. I just don't get fucking points when I play this guy.
True.
And it's probably because the average of people who are like really high up, they're like consistently getting kills. They're doing like other things like that. Whereas sometimes the optimal strategy as Rocket, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, is just fucking heal botting.
No, I agree.
And so you're not.
But also
really
the guys that are very, very low rank
as of value performance.
But the guys that are also very low rank are affecting that too. It's just, I feel like because I'm not too sure if they're like, for example, if you have 50,000 heals on Rocket. But let's say you have 0 final hits and you die. Let's say I don't know if death even matter. But I think that if you just like 50,000 heals and then let's say on 2 rounds, let's say you won 3-2, and then you get no final hits, and also let's say you get like 2 eliminations. I feel like on Rocket you're performing relatively good. But maybe not because you need more final hits as Rocket. So let's say if you have 1 final hit, 1 kill, and then 50,000 healing, you're actually performing better because you have 1 final hit.
Well, yeah. Well, you have to remember there is the key little phrase. And again, let it be noted, we're taking everything at face value.
We have no choice.
Because we kind of, pretty much. We really don't have much choice in that. Because, who knows how much information is being omitted. But we'll leave that be for now.
Yes.
So it's just like, it's the average of people that are playing that same hero at your rank.
Right.
So it's not including the random bums who literally do like 0 damage Rocket and still think that's the way to play Rocket. Mm-hmm. You got to actually get some kills because that's the optimal way to play Rocket. You should be trying to get kills as Rocket.
Right.
And so people who are now in Grandmaster and whatever have you, they're good enough as Rocket because even you got dudes who basically one trick even Rocket who they're just pinging kills consistently because you could get some fucking damage off of that guy.
Right. Right.
And so if you're just playing him because we need some big heals and we need it now, and so I'm going to play Rocket and just heal bot. Unfortunately, you're not really contributing a lot to kills, which means you're not performing very well, quotation marks, which means, we'll give you a point or 2 for performance, I guess.
Because I'm wondering if they actually weight same stats similar. So, for example, I wonder if they weight damage block the same as getting final, or the same as healing, or is it worth less, or is it worth more? Or let's say, okay, if you have 0 final hits, but let's say you have 15 kills, well, okay, you're actually not performing that well at all because you don't have any final hits. And then also there's other stats too, for certain characters, I know Hulk has his heroic leap stat or something, when you get an air stun or something. Does that matter too or no?
The little sub stats.
The sub stats.
How what are those? Because every character has their own individual tallies for specific things.
Right.
Hulk. I can tell you Hulk's all 3 of his is how many guys you hit with his stun. Yeah. I play Hulk, bro. Hulk is I probably have double the time on Hulk than I do my second most played character.
Hey, fucking man.
And so Hulk, his 3 is how many guys you catch with his leap, how many guys you hit with his stun, and how many kills you get with his ult. That's his 3. But like, do those necessarily matter into like the overall performance thing?
That's a good question.
Know.
That's a good.
Maybe
That's,
they do.
that's a
Maybe
great
they don't.
question. That is
Because how many people? Because look, I love Hulk, but here's the thing: I am not catching a lot of people with his fucking jump. I'm not doing that shit.
Right.
I do it sometimes, not a lot.
But if you do that, does it actually matter for your overall stats? That's the question. Like your overall points. Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Or like if you're Adam Warlock, when you res someone, that's not a heal stat. You don't get like healing points for that. So, but it's a valuable asset to the team to res them back in the team fight. So, are you awarded extra points or lesser points depending on how many reses you get, and also depending on how you perform compared to the average? That's very important. So, if the average Warlock main only, let's say, gets like 5 reses a game, but you get like 10 reses a game, does that matter for your points?
Yeah, and I'm sure you can garner based off of the way that I'm talking about this. Obviously, they don't go into detail with like every character, which honestly, at this point, now that we kind of have an explicit acknowledgement that that's what it is, I kind of want them to.
I do. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you keep track of how many points you get, it goes down the high rank you. Yeah, I'd assume so too. I'd assume so too.
They'll talk about that later.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go.
Performance coefficient to your team's average to determine your final performance points.
Yeah.
Examples. A Diamond 1 player spends 4 minutes as Loki and 6 minutes as Invisible Woman in a 10-minute match. Let's break down the performance points calculation. First, the system converts their in-game stats to 10-minute averages and then convert them into performance value. Okay. Assuming Loki has a performance value of 1,200 and Invisible Woman has 1,000. Next, the system finds the average performance value for Diamond 1 players with those heroes, which we will assume Loki and Invisible Woman both are 1,000.
Hold on, time the fuck out. I thought it was just universally, not within the rank. Wait, hold on. So it's also gauging how well you perform with that hero among other players with the same rank? That's an average too? I mentioned that one last time.
You must have missed that. Yeah, I tried saying it a couple times. I guess you missed it. Yes, no,
Sorry.
it is. It's not just the same hero. It is the same hero in that rank. So
okay. No, okay, I assume those all ranks. Well, that matters too, I think. Yeah.
So, i.e., here's a very good example. Something that you acknowledge to be the case. Think about the amount of times you've seen an Iron Fist in rank recently.
Ha! Rare breeds.
Exactly. And so if you do pretty good as Iron Fist, because you do have a decent Iron Fist, if you play Iron Fist, you have a good match with him, guess what? You're probably doing way fucking better than people in the same rank who also play Iron Fist.
Right. That's my assumption. Yeah, right. Because there's so few people that play Iron Fist to begin with, you know? Yeah,
so,
actually, at least right now, yeah.
Yeah, and so you can imagine that if you are good as a character that is somewhat unconventional, not really used, and people aren't really good as them usually, you probably could end up getting a better average.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because that's the thing before. Right. Yeah, exactly. Because you know what it is? It feels like some of these stats are almost like they're very important, but other stats are worthless. It's kind of like when I played Overwatch, there was a stat that happened to your character when you started performing well, where you had this I'm on fire stat, but it didn't really do shit. You were just kind of on fire. It didn't necessarily mean that you were actually getting more points or like after a win or loss, you just kind of were on fire. So just,
I remember.
That's really it. Yeah. It was just there for whatever reason. But okay, let's see here.
We then calculate the performance
coefficients. Loki's coefficient
is 1.2.
Yeah, because you got 1,000. Oh, that's 100. Yeah, okay.
This is then weighted by playtime. The
Weighted by
overall
playtime.
coefficient works out to be 1.08.
Okay, so it's 1.08 because you have the overall, so you have the coefficient of 1.2, which is Loki's performance at 1,200. And then you times that. It's not Chinese math. This is basic math, boys. Sorry. All right, listen. Everyone did algebra here. Stop it. All right? Jesus Christ. All right.
Listen,
so
did you pass 8th grade math? Like.
Oh my God. Okay. Yo, Blaze killing me. Blaze killing me.
look, I ain't gonna hold you. There is a very massive explanation because of, I don't want to flame you right now, but like, bro, oh my God, Chinese math. It's like, this is actually basic math, but it's very long-winded.
Yeah, so basically what's happening here, if I break it down, right? Basically what you have here is that, so Loki, during his only 4 minutes as playing Loki, compared to other Lokis within a 10-minute window, so like they take the 4 minutes and then they upscale the 4 minutes of Loki playtime to a 10-minute average. And then from there, what they do is that they get you a total performance value of 1,200. And then you have Invisible Woman at, let's say, that 6 minutes, they upscale that to another 10 minutes value, and then you get 1,000. So what you see here is that you see the math here is, so you have 1.2. So you're outperforming other Lokis in the same rank within those 4 minutes, or I guess that 10-minute window that they scaled up. And then you play for 4 minutes. So then you times it by 0.4 because you only play looking for 4 minutes. Then you have Invisible Woman here where you scale. So you played as good as every other Invisible Woman player. That's out of 1, hence 1,000. And then you played for 6 minutes. So you times it by 0.6. So when you do the math, then you get a total of 1.08 because you were playing just as good as the average Invisible Woman for those 6 minutes, and you're playing slightly above average compared to every other Loki main in the same rank at a 1,200 rating. That's how you get the 1.08 overall coefficient.
Yeah,
Easy.
and it's pretty simple when you brace it down like that. However, I can understand it being a little complicated because at the end of the day, we are kind of doing math based off of a thing that we do not have the full equation of.
Facts. But we'll never get that though.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I think that's just a reality. That's just we're just not going to get everything, which I kind of want at this point, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Let's cook.
Finally, this player's coefficient is compared to the other 5 teammates.
Okay, so let me see here. So what they're saying here, I'll summarize it. So what they're saying here is that now you have the other 5 teammates in your party. So one person's at a 1, so they performed up to par. One person's at a par. One person also said as a par at 1. One person performed under par at 0.8. Same for another person, and then one person fucking dominated. Like you had some like crazy carry. Like we had Jay on our team or something, and then he went like 1.15. Okay, so started doing really good. Like,
bro.
Okay, so one dude just outperformed like motherfucker. That means that the team coefficient is going to be at 0.97 because basically you had only one guy that performed that really did well, like that outperformed like you did. And then you have 2 other guys that performed under par, and then 2 guys that performed at par. So because the total team average is at 0.97 and you're at 1.08, you should be getting more points because you outperformed also the rest of your team.
Say that they are 1, 0.8, 0.8, and 1.15, resulting in an average of 0.97. This gives us the final adjusted performance coefficient of 1.11.
So that should be a 0. So 1.08 times 0.97 should probably give you 1.8. Okay. So weight of the base points and performance points. Okay. We're math in chat.
Your base points
give us the numbers here. I like that.
Are calculated.
Did you pass? Yeah, I mean, did you pass algebra?
Bro, I hope, bro. Listen, my engineering degree has to mean something, I think. I hope, huh? Okay, so once both...
I just wanted to know how matchmaking works. I didn't want to go back to school.
Nah, bro. This man started doing the E-fu da wang, one fu mu ka. Whoa, so I'm sorry, Chinese. Okay.
Pulled out the fucking abacus, bro.
Everyone has some TI instrument calculators lying around. Let's fucking do this, boys. Yeah. Okay, once your base points and performance points are calculated,
your final score is determined by ranking these 2 paths.
Okay, I understand that.
The weights vary by rank. As you climb the ranks, the weighting of base points will gradually increase.
As you climb? Oh, the weight, never mind. Yeah, performance decreases.
In low ranks,
performance
points have a higher weight
Wait,
See, this
what?
is one of the interesting things that I kind of find about this. So basically what this means,
Damn.
to simplify that statement, he's going to talk about it a little bit more, but to simplify it, basically what he just said right there is that when you're early on in ranks, when you're at, the bitch tiers, you're at bronze, you're at silver, you're at whatever, how good you do, specifically, how good you did is more important than when you're in higher ranks. But when you're in those higher ranks, what's more important now is how good the enemies are, how good they are, what ranks they are. That's what's more important in higher ranks.
Well, yeah, because what they're also saying here too is that, what they're also saying too is that they're saying that your performance matters more in lower ranks than it does in higher ranks.
Yes.
What matters more in high ranks is the other team, and they're just winning. So you can perform. So you could dominate in. Let's say you're one above all or something, and you're even crushing in that rank. That matters a lot less if you're dominating in gold. Where if you, let's say, get like 50 and freaking 2 with 25 final hits, that's like a 35, 40 point game. But the same shit in one above all is still like 20.
Yeah. So essentially, and the idea of it, the supposed idea, is that it's basically making players who are doing way better than they should be, quotation marks, in those lower ranks to get up into the ranks even quicker.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
okay.
If you're fucking annihilating the other team in like silver, then yeah, they're going to want to try to boost you up further. That's the general idea of it.
Yes.
Whereas when you're in the top uber duber tier, there's not necessarily even a reason to do that anymore.
So that could explain why, because folks complain about how like everyone's in GM or something. That could explain why. Because
essentially, to make it very simple, yes, it is easier to rank up when you're lower ranks.
Yes,
that's pretty much what that means. It is easier to rank up when you're lower.
Because if you outperform the rest of the cast of characters, or the rest of your team, you have the chance to gain like 35, 37 X amount of points because it's more weighted towards performance base. But then once you're at GM and stops becoming like let's say Diamond or GM, like around those ranks, I would say like between Plat to GM, it matters a lot less, I think. And then now you're starting to get to a point where like you have to just win overall rather than, let's say, perform well per se. So it's not because I guess the idea is that there are certain things that you do that are like game-winning plays, but you're not awarded a point for that. Like it's a game-winning block, or it's a like in basketball, like it's a game-winning block or steal, or like in football, it's a game-winning tackle. But you're not like getting points for that per se. But it's so important to the team, and I guess they're assuming that in higher ranks, in order to kind of correlate like those moments, we just have to rate performance overall down because ultimately you won the game, which matters the most thing, I think.
Yeah. Brain farting. What was I about to say? Right. And yeah, that's kind of just the element of like it's the old adage, as a wise man once said, the scoreboard only tells half a story.
Yeah.
That's because it does. There's so much that is absolutely going to impact how well you do in a game. That has nothing to do with what's on the scoreboard. That shit just happens. The game can't have a way to calculate when a cap comes out of nowhere and dives into a Magneto ult to save a cloak and dagger. Like the scoreboard can't calculate that.
It can. And like there was one game where I think they had a team that were for sure better than us. But I remember we just had a cap on our team, and I was Ultron, and I gave him a drone, and it was the Manhattan map, and he was just bouncing around, and it was the most disgusting W I ever had in my life, where I'm watching Captain America literally just bounce around the point, back and forth like a rabbit, all right? Like not like B-Rabbit, Eminem, but I mean like an actual Bugs Bunny rabbit. That's all he was doing, and they couldn't kill him. It was insane.
So he did for us what we got bamboozled with not too long prior to that, if you recall.
Yeah. I'm never again with that. Yeah. Same map too. Nightmare. Nightmare fuel.
Also, I feel like it should be important to note. I see that thing for Blaze. Basically, yeah, it's to keep them climbing, to keep them engaged at the cost of seasonal D ranks. Here's the thing:
Right.
you're also correct.
Right. Yes.
It's both.
It's both.
It's simultaneously boosting up players who are better than the rank that they're in, but it is also that too.
Yes.
It's both.
Because it feels like Diamond and GM are like where things start to like, now you're kind of settled, because now it's like it's mattering like your performance matters a lot less now in these ranks. And then I'm guessing, let's say even in Celestial, and then beyond Celestial, like Eternity, that's where things start to really like not matter. It's all about just winning the fucking game, you know? Yeah. All right, let's cook. Performance points have higher weight. Okay.
Skilled players rise faster. Higher ranks shift weight towards base points for consistency.
Consistency, yes.
Example: a player wins a rank match, earning 20 base points and 30 performance points.
Oh, fuck.
If the player is in silver, with a base point weight of 0.4 and a performance point weight of 0.6, the final score gained is 26.
26.
If the player is in
Celestial,
with a base point
base
weight
weight
of
0.7
and the performance point weight of
Yeah.
0.3, the final score gained is 23.
So for the same performance value between Celestial and Silver, you're gaining 3 less points just because you're in Celestial. Just by being in that higher rank, you're just gaining less points.
Yeah, it pretty much is like, you know, and I mean, you can talk about how like, oh, you know, individual performance and how good the other things are and whatever have you.
Right.
But the thing is that the fact that it's weighted more towards like how good your enemy team is whenever you're in higher ranks, the reality is, on average, you're going to be facing people that should be at the same rank. That's the usual
on average. Right, yes.
Which essentially means is that the average that you've always had since the beginning is now what's weighted heavier than individual performance. So it is quite literally true that yes, it is harder to rank up when you're in higher ranks. Like that's literally just true.
And I think it also,
you on average will get less points.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Absolutely. But I think it's also interesting too is that this kind of also may, in a roundabout way, also explain why rank up games feel really hard, because it's like the game. Because I know they said before that there's no EOMM in that one of those tweets they had before. But I
will go ahead and say they say it again.
Okay, fair enough.
They say it again.
I mean, they kind of have to this point because you can't back from that. At least I'm assuming. You can't lie about that.
They are making a definitive claim. They are not backing down.
Okay, got you. But this also could explain why there's an issue with like rank up games, because maybe not issue per se, but it's like they feel hard because you're going up against a team that's overall a lot of times at a higher rank than you are. Because let's say you're in Diamond 1. Now you have grand matches coming into your games, and then it makes the overall point value of their team higher and then yours lower, normally speaking. But that also applies to everyone on your team. A lot guys on your team, so it becomes harder, you can argue, to like rank up, because like the point differential is like favored against you normally in rank up games. You could like maybe you can assume that. Maybe. Okay, either way, let's go. Matchmaking system overview. Okay, talk to me. Oh.
Yeah, see, all the point stuff, that was cool and all. I wanted to hear about this. This is what I was here for. Like, I mean, they should just have blacked it before. If they say if there's no EOMM, then at face value you gotta believe them. I mean, to me the issue the issue is the point system. But I mean, there's some things we could talk about. We'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Our player hail from. Okay, let's go.
Each with different
time zone connection speeds. Sure.
Balancing fast matchmaking with fair matches has always been our challenge.
Okay.
And focus for ongoing improvement.
Okay. Matchmaking mechanics.
In Marvel Rivals, players are matched based on server node selection, team composition, competitive score. Once matchmaking starts, the system looks for opponents on your chosen server or servers. As wait time increases, the system gradually expands the search to higher and lower ranks, helping you get into a match promptly. The expansion is kept to prevent unbalanced games.
So the longer you wait, the broader the matchmaking system has to fan out and try to find players.
Yes. And,
both higher and lower.
This is they haven't explicitly said it yet, but this is the first of what you might notice to be a trend of something that they heavily focus on, and that something that they find very important. That I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like it wouldn't hurt if they weren't as focused on it, and you might see what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. You'll let me know later on if I don't get it. Yeah. Once we have 12 players acceptable range.
Acceptable ranked range, the match is set. Teams are then arranged to minimize differences in average competitive scores.
Team matchmaking.
Team matchmaking is based on team size. For fairness, a 6-player team will only face another 6-player team.
Obviously.
Fighting an exact match can take time when taking into account all the factors, like competitive scores, server selection, etc. Since launch, 5-player teams have been disabled to protect solos.
Sure.
For other team size, the system opens up to more combinations as wait time increases. Take a 4-player team, for example. The first system tries to match with another 4-player team, but if none are promptly found, it will eventually expand to mixed teams like 4-1-1 versus 3-2-1.
Okay.
Longer waits means broader competitive score ranges.
Okay.
And reaching the upper limit of the range can result in a difference in scores between the two teams. From the matchmaking results, this would appear to be an unbalanced battle. However, tightening the rules would mean much longer waits and a bad experience. This is the core challenge, balancing matchmaking quality and speed. Team queues make this speed versus quality trade-off more noticeable. A higher rank.
They like speed.
You're starting to see it.
Yeah, they like speed. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, he's mentioning speed a lot, like speed. Which the queues are fast for sure.
Hey man, I love me some fast queue times, and I think I'm just gonna
like balancing quality and speed. I'm
just gonna pull the cat out of the bag here. Yeah, they clearly have a massive importance on very quick queue time and matchmaking and all that stuff, which is cool and all. I like that. However, if mystical Guangwang came out of the skies and was just like, hey, yo, I can guarantee you have a fair match every time. It won't be a guaranteed win, but it'll be fair. I can guarantee that, but you have to wait a minute every time. Fuck it. I'm taking that shit. I don't care.
What he's saying is actually kind of interesting because it's like, okay, I think what he's trying to get here is that if you want people to play as much as possible, then you do want faster speed, but they're sacrificing the potential quality. Well, at least they're mentioning in teams. So if you can do a 4-stack or a 3-stack, then the idea is that, okay, so we have to find people that are the equivalent, and if they can't, then that's to fan out to teams of 3 and 2, and then maybe 1 solo player. Which is why I think they say it's easier to. They actually might explain why it's easier to solo queue. Because when you're solo queue, you just find 6 guys on the same rank as you, I guess 11 guys, and boom, there you go. Whereas, when you're playing on a team or on a stack, we have to try and find guys that can operate. So if you're on a 2-stack, or let's say you're on a 3-stack, we need to find other 2 or 3 stacks, and then if we can't find them, we have to kind of adjust shit. Okay, so let's say we only have 3, 2, 1, and then the other team is 2, 2, 2. So you have you have 3 2-stacks. But then that means, okay, let's say we have to go to again, if you're, let's say, Grandmaster 3, we found 3 2-stacks, but they're all Grandmaster 1. That becomes a little more unbalanced.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
And this is sort of the thing that I kind of wonder about, and I'll just go ahead and say they don't go super in depth when it comes to this.
Right.
And it's like, all right, so you say that a longer wait time will then go about a discrepancy of team size as well as potentially rank differentials.
Right.
But how long of a wait time are we talking about to where you start dipping into that pool then?
That's a good question.
And so it's just like, are you dipping into it like, oh man, we made these guys wait 5 seconds. That's way too long.
Because here's the thing though, it's like so Blaze mentioned in chat. I've waited 45 minutes for a match in Overwatch in GM, right? In Grandmaster, okay? So I waited before, when I was in Master in Overwatch, because I was a Master player in Overwatch. I remember waiting 5-10 minutes for a match. Sometimes it was kind of annoying. And what I remember seeing some streamers do for Overwatch, that they'd actually play other games while they're waiting to get queued up. And actually, it got. I'm assuming it got worse when they had it roll queue, because now you have to, especially if you're, let's say, a TPS player, where you had to wait really, really long. Because it's like you had to probably wait for the other matches to finish, so players were free, and then if they were still on, they can match with them, and they go for quite a bit of time. But think about it though, it's like with the attention span of people nowadays, people have they have goldfish attention spans. People want to get in and get out. They want to get in. Like if you have to wait, if a match goes on for imagine that you're waiting for 10 minutes for a match, and you're not in the higher ranks. Let's say you're in fucking gold. You're waiting for a 10-minute match. They'll just tune the fuck off, because people are probably come back from work, you want to play some rank and have some fun, and you're in gold. But it's like, okay, 10 minutes to fucking play a single match I may lose? Nah, chief. It actually makes losing and winning probably more engaging because it's happening so quickly. No?
Well, yeah. I mean, the reality is that and I mean, it's not exactly hard to understand why. This is only going to be a notable issue when you get into the higher ranks.
I think so too. Yes.
Prior to that, the reality is that the pool is large enough to where it almost doesn't even really matter that much. And
for now, who knows in the future? But for now, maybe. Yeah, the pool's large enough, because Overwatch had a pretty large pool in 2016, and then 17, 18, and so on. But then it started doing down over the course of time because of various changes, characters, and other games came out, and so on. That's what happens over the course of time. Other games come out, get interest. So they may feel like it's always important to try and be fast. And actually, that could also explain why they limited the team ups, because they're like, if you want to have fast matchmaking.
You're getting ahead of the video now.
Ooh, okay. So yeah. I'm starting to think now. It's a theory to me, because if speed matters, that could low key explain a lot. Dude.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say you've pretty much already answered the question on why they did it.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's cook.
There are fewer players, and they are spread across different servers.
If
so this happens more often.
Yes.
So, after careful review, starting in Season 3.5, with temporarily restricted teams of 4 or 6 players from matchmaking and
I got ahead of myself. Shit.
You jumped ahead a little bit.
I jumped ahead.
There's a very important word in that sentence. Do you see what word that is?
Temporarily?
Temporarily. What does that mean?
The fuck? Nah.
What does that mean?
There ain't no way, bro. How are you gonna backtrack on that shit?
That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like, wait, temporarily? That's a big thing. My theory.
Was that announced before when they did this? No.
No. My theory. This is a theory. I have nothing to base off of this outside of the fact that this word exists in this sentence. That is what I'm basing this theory off of. It was going to be a permanent change that they were 100% going to do, but they are now looking into potential ways of reverting it because so many people bitched about it, which honestly, it's a fair bitch. That shit sucks. So, yeah.
As long as you're okay waiting for longer queue times, then yeah, I guess you should.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Okay, all right. Okay.
Give me my 6 stack back, bro.
Because I guess the idea is that if you're playing with 6 people, you're committed to playing the game, even if you do it longer. Like, at that point in time, fuck speed. But if you're playing solo queue, you want speed because, what you're going to end there.
Yeah. But no, I 100% think that they were just like, oh, you know what? This will be a good idea because it'll. And look, to be fair, I do not believe this was malicious. Some people might assume that I'm saying this because this was them being malicious. I don't think this was them being malicious. I think this was genuinely them thinking it was a good idea to limit the number of people. So the queue times and the matchmaking could be potentially easier and all that stuff.
And faster. That's the thing. Because the speed matters the most, I think, because they mentioned speed a lot. I think that's pivotal for the whole argument.
Also true. Us casuals have one friend. So it's like true. But yeah, no. But like, bro, whenever you get into those high ranks, whenever it really, because, you know, remember, people are going to rank up a lot easier when they're lower. And so, yeah, we now have like a definitive like answer to like, yeah, there's going to be people that are probably going to get boosted into the ranks.
Yes. And
then add in the element of rank resets where people are probably going to be higher than what they should be, because that's something that hasn't been talked about yet.
That's actually a good point. It winds up being a vicious feedback loop where you have guys that are getting boosted, and also you have rank resets. So guys that don't play. Let's say you have guys that are normally successful players, but they don't play. Let's say within the last 2 weeks of the game or the season, and also the seasons are shorter now. They're shorter now, so it becomes more of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, and so it's just like, bro, I'm getting randomly queued up with the, like, yeah, I got my 2 buddies with me. Cool. I got 3 guys who are basically ankle weights going up against fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, fucking, you know, Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, and all his. It's like, I'm boned, bro.
You got like, you know, D-Generation X, and then all of a sudden you're paired up with freaking like some jobbers. You got 3 jobbers. Like, how the fuck are we gonna win this match when you have 3 jobbers in D-Generation X? Like, dude.
Bro, I'm trying to go into this thing. I'm fighting fucking Body Jones, you know. Fucking, like, what am I supposed to do against him?
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Okay. Let's see what else you have to say. We're not done yet. Like,
ranks, where their balanced matches are harder to fight. Moving forward, we will continue to explore new solutions to better meet the diverse needs of players.
Okay, example. What's going on here?
To help you better understand how the matchmaking system works, here's an example scenario. Suppose player A teams up with player B and player C to queue for competitive.
So 3 stack.
In this scenario, player A is Diamond 1, player B is Diamond 3, player C is Platinum 1.
The fuck?
The average rank of this 3-player team is around Diamond 3.
Diamond 3, yeah. Oh, player A is getting rubber banded hard.
Node for matchmaking.
Yeah, no, that Diamond 1 player is probably having a bad day.
Yeah, that's a bad day.
Size and rank in the queue on this node. The matchmaking system gradually expands the search range as time passes. After 5 minutes, the
search range expands.
Finds 9 more players who meet the criteria.
5 minutes, 9 more players.
These 9 players include another 3-player team with an average rank of
Platinum 1, so lower than your average rank.
With an average rank of Diamond 2.
Higher.
And 4 solo players. Player D, Diamond 1. Player E, Diamond 2. Player F, Platinum 1. Player
Shots to player Yi. Okay, I'm gonna stop being racist.
Diamond 2. To ensure fairness, the system first places the 2 3-person teams
it is
on
clearly
opposite
getting
sides.
Yeah,
then, the remaining team compositions
1 a.m. baby.
Side A, 3-player team plus 2-player team plus 1 solo player. Side B, 3-player team plus 3 solo players. Now, the exact team split is determined by the solo players to make both sides' average ranks as close as possible. The fairest division is Side A, 3-player team, Diamond 3 average, plus 2-player team, Diamond 2 average, plus player F, Platinum 1.
Oh, God.
Side B, 3-player team, Platinum 1 average,
and that's the fucking supposed
Bro, that explains a lot, dude.
There you get the supposed EOMM agents, bro. That's them.
Holy fuck, dude.
Fucking player F or whatever his name was. It's like, yeah, that's him. There he is.
In order to balance out, that's why they don't want 6-stacking, because God forbid you have to deal with guys that are like all of like a certain rank or something. You have to find another 6-stacker. You have to find, bro, this explains a lot. That's why whenever we 3-stack or 2-stack or maybe 3-stacking, we get this scenario where we have the one person who's a diamond, you know, like we have another, let's say, duo, and we have the third person who's just cheeks. Because in order to balance out our average of, let's say, Diamond 3, we get a platinum player. Damn.
Yeah, because you have me, you, and Smoke, who I would like to believe are solid at this game. We probably get paired up with a duo that's like pretty good, and then we just have this other guy coming in. It's like, hi, hey, I just got here.
Yeah.
Can we be friends? No.
No, absolutely not. Not the Lord Spideys. Yeah, bro. And then
the Spider-Man.
And then also too, they're saying as well too that the opposite team also has a lower ranking than your team. And mind you, the average rank on the opposite team is a platinum 1 for this trio. But remember, Team A on side A has a diamond 1, almost a grandmaster player, and there's an average of a platinum 1. So that's almost like a fucking full, that's almost like a tier and a half, a higher, dude. What?
Diamond 1.
Let me see.
Plus
Diamond 1.
Diamond 2.
Diamond
plus
2.
Player G. Diamond 2.
Oh God. Okay, but this whole trio is only platinum. Yeah, this is interesting. So this explains a lot with the EOMM, I suppose. I guess lack thereof.
There are still notable.
I would say it answers why people thought there was.
Yes. Because there's always like this one dude that's like, I need help. And it's like, oh yeah, because we're in a 3-stack or in a 2-stack, and then we are all averaged out like to GM2 or let's say GM3, and this guy's coming in with like GM Diamond 1 energy. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you?
Hey, what? I just got into Diamond.
Yay.
Let's all have fun.
Diamond 3 energy. It's like, brother, what the fuck are you doing here? Huh? This is crazy.
I'm just trying to make my way to Grandmaster.
Like, imagine being a Celestial 1 or an Eternity player, and you're playing in a match where you're playing, let's say, at a 2-stack. There's a possibility where you could get like a fucking GM2 guy in there. It's like, how the hell did you get in here, bro? Damn, that's crazy.
I like how I keep imagining people who just are like a massive like rank discrepancy as if they're like innocent. You know, it's just like, bro, Diamond 3, you had to work to get there.
Right. And mind you, that's just based on their rank. You have no idea this person's smurfing or not. You have no idea.
Yeah,
they're
who
just based
knows,
on the rank.
Bro?
Yeah. Oh boy, this is crazy. But it explains a lot, honestly.
Set A's player F, Platinum 1, and set B's player D, Diamond 1, each have a 2 to 3 division differences from their teammates.
Crazy.
This means there can be internal team imbalances.
Yes.
Assume once the match begins, the role selections are as follows. Side A, the 3-player team picks a Vanguard player A, Duelist player B, and Strategist player C.
Oh yeah, and that's something that's very important too, low key. Like, you're diamond or you're platinum, but are you diamond and platinum for like a host of characters or just one character? So it's like, oh shit, like if you're a platinum 1 on just one character, let's say it's a platinum 1 guy, and he's a platinum 1 guy on Wolverine, that's his main dude, and then now Wolverine's banned, it's like, oh shit. Now this guy is as worthless, he's as valuable as, let's say, a Platinum 3 player now, because he doesn't have the skill on any of the character other than Wolverine.
It's so crazy that the guys who make the game assume that dudes as high as Diamond are still incapable of playing all 3 roles. That shit is bonkers to me.
But how complicated of an equation would that be to try and suss out also how many hours you have on certain characters or some shit?
Like, how bad? Like, see, here's the thing. Like, you know, we'll get more into it later. But, like, yes, matchmaking ain't great. And we're getting some answers on some of those questions. However, there will always be a human element of sometimes the people you play with just fucking suck. Like, that is just gonna happen, man.
But again, I will admit, too, there are games where it's like, I wasn't doing the best. I wasn't sucking. I was doing the best. And then my Magic's like, yo, by the way, like, I got this. Let me just carry for a second. I'm like, okay, Magic, cool.
Let me go like 32-2.
Yeah, it's like, damn, okay, shit. But if the Magic was banned, it's like, wait a minute now. We're in trouble. Right, that's the thing. Yeah. Okay, let's cook. Jesus, this is. But honestly, this is actually like impressive how much insight they're giving us. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's actually like more than a.
Well, I mean,
it's more than I thought they would.
I feel like they had to, because like.
Yeah, but like for how many hero shooters like you actually do this kind of stuff? I don't think they. Like this to me is kind of impressive. Like I never heard about this kind of stuff in Overwatch when I played it, or Apex Legends. Like this is a pretty nice breakdown of how it all works out. Which is a risk of it could be abused, but I mean,
I feel like they kind of had to, because the reality is that, you know, people kind of moan and groan about certain things about this game here or there, which either are not really the case or don't really matter. But when it comes to the shit with comp, that's like the one thing that people are borderline unanimously agreed upon. And so notice how a lot of the times I'm just like, we have heard your feedback. We've heard your this and that. It's like there is definitely
a lot of times that's all we get with hero shooters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The reality is that there is definitely an undertone throughout this whole video. And look, I don't blame them for this. I get it. It's like there's an undertone about this, about like, look, we're trying to explain why our thing ain't shit. Whether we agree or not, that's, you know, we'll up for debate. But that's clear what they're saying.
I think so too, because I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like there's actually a possibility to where when you think about all the information that they're giving us right now, this maybe actually kind of proves their point, where maybe it's not necessarily a thing with their matchmaking, but it's more so the players, where it's an actual, like, because you have bans on certain characters, and because they try to make things balanced, where if you're in the 3 stack, because that's why folks say solo queuing is easier, because when you're solo queuing, you're playing with pretty much people that are all your rank for the most part. You don't get a situation where a diamond 1 is playing with the platinum 1.
Yeah, we can go more in depth about it later, but I would say it's a bit of both.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Team chooses a Vanguard and a Duelist.
Vanguard Duelist.
Player F, a Duelist main, sticks with his preferred role instead of filling the missing strategist slot. To balance the team, the Duelist player B from the 3-player team fills as a strategist.
Oh, you know what? They just answered my fucking question here. So yeah, you have to fill as a strategist because you want to get a 2-2-2 combo. I mean, I guess you could run one support, but it's like, I mean, most folks don't. But notice how like player B has to fill, and so it's like, okay, he filled, and his character model is outlined or shaded in, kind of showing that he's filling because he's playing an off role. He's not playing his key role, even though he's a Vanguard on a higher rank than this platinum player.
Yeah, and notice it's just like, oh yeah, this guy's having to fill in for this fucking bum. And it's like, wait, why is he filling in on a role that he's bad at? It's like, wait, are you saying that he's still not good at all 3, at least one character in all 3 roles?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like,
well, because
like we're like
the Duelist guy
kicking the can now.
but notice how like you're replacing your Diamond 2 Duelist with your fucking Platinum 1 Duelist. And on paper, this guy will be better. But because he reached the switch, or that he's actually Duelist main, then B over here on this team has to switch and fill.
Yeah.
No.
And look, I do agree with the element of just like, look, man, if we get queued in with a guy that genuinely is only good as a fucking, I don't know, Psylocke, and like that's the only character he's good at, then like, okay, fine, you have your Psylocke because that's literally all you're good with, fine. But like, you know, and this isn't a NetEase problem, this is a player base issue. We should not be having that type of problem in fucking Diamond.
But they want to balance it out. That's the issue. And I think, you know, and they're balanced out based on players' ranks, not what character they play the most. It's based on their ranks. Yeah, that's the thing. Ooh, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be their best video they've ever done. I'm keeping it stack because this insight to me, this is like gigatons of insight. That's like, oh shit, this explains a lot about how this whole thing works.
It really does, because I mean,
Scary.
we've just been kind of a coasting with just like it works the way it does because it does, and that's pretty much
it.
But now we kind of have a better, at least an understanding. Whether you think it's good or not, you know, that's up for debate.
Right, exactly.
But we at least understand now.
Because you can argue that actually the best way to do it wouldn't necessarily be their rank, but you could argue that the best way to do it could be, well, rank and also the amount of time they spend on the character. But that's kind of similar to role queue. So, but then do we want role queue in this game? I'm not too sure.
No. I'm just gonna say, you know, we can go more. We can talk more later, but I'm just gonna say it right now. Role queue in this game specifically, more than other games like it, is a terrible idea. But we can talk more about that later. Okay, we can talk more about that later.
Side B. The 3-player team picks a Vanguard. duelist, and strategist. Player D picks an additional strategist. Player E picks another vanguard. Player G picks another duelist. We believe that this is a situation many players have encountered before.
Yes.
In this case, Set B has a strategic
cute
advantage.
That they think that teams are going to run 2-2-2
are playing their main
on their main roles.
On
yes.
Set A duelist main is forced to fill as a strategist. And
because the platinum guy on your team won't fucking. This is fucking interesting. They actually, they understand the metas or they understand the situations. That's actually impressive on their part. They understand that the strategy, the number B has to fill. They understand this. They get it. And so he doesn't want to play any other strategy. Let's any strategist. But he's playing strategy like listen to less. I mean, I guess you could argue here that the argument should be actually fuck it. You're better off because that's why I guess some folks say don't switch. Because your best character is duelist, so fuck it. You could just run rolls. It's gonna be hard, but you could maybe win with one strategist, depending on the strategist. You could argue.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is sort of like a vibes thing sometimes, but like there's definitely times where it's just like, oh man, we just got kind of stomped and we're not really doing too good. Should we switch things up? And sometimes the answer, unironically, is no. Because you really just kind of sometimes just got to pull yourself together and just get back in there. There's
pretty
really
much,
not much more to it than that.
Yeah. But notice how, like, and again, in this situation right here, the one who's giga fucked the most winds up being the Vanguard A guy on side A because he's the Diamond 1 dude. I mean, so is strategist over here, but they're all playing their main role. So they're, again, it's weighted heavily. This is why I say it's important to fucking flex. Because if you have characters that you're comfortable on each role, this issue is not an issue. And you weigh out the scales more favorably. But folks will not know how to flex. Either way. Yeah.
And the lowest ranked player is also playing which may weaken the
winning is too much fun, you fuckwads.
Correct.
Most frequently raised questions. Okay. Talk to us 1-1. Oh, no.
Recently, we have received a lot of feedback from the community, with many players believing that our matchmaking system employs EOMM, engagement optimized matchmaking. This would imply manipulating the matchmaking queue to keep players' win rates around 50%, ensuring they remain engaged in the game. We want to be clear. Marvel Rivals does not use EOMM.
Very definitive declaration.
Why do some matches feel
Marvel Rivals does not do EOMM.
Encounter win a loss streak?
Yeah, that's
bro.
I mean,
he said with gusto too. He's not. Listen, he's even pissed. Like, listen, everyone shut the fuck up.
Look, man, they're like, see, there's a way to calmly be pissed at people. This is that.
This is that, bro. He's tired. Listen, guys, I'm behind.
They're tired of this bullshit. They're like,
I'm in the back rooms. I know the code.
And I'll say
shut the fuck up.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. I thought there was EOMM. I'm guilty of it. But like, so it's just
sometimes
like,
I felt that way because, like, for me, like, I don't know if it's for me, but like, I don't necessarily go on like many like, you know, 7-game loss win streaks. I tend to like have a situation like last stream too, where it's like I win 2, I lose 1. I win 1, I lose 2, I lose 1, I win 3. It's kind of like vary a lot of times. You're just kind of like, that's how it kind of works out for me personally, most of the time. So, but again, because like, I think I'm willing to like shit. I'm comfortable in like every role essentially. I have too many characters in my bag. Like I go to the lab a lot in quick play. I'm studying motherfuckers. But he's like very stern here. He's like, yo, listen, man, like our system, like after giving you the whole rundown, now and I can kind of see why. Like what he said last time makes a lot of sense. In order to balance out the matchmaking system, they prioritize the rank first and foremost, not the category you play. So whatever rank you are, however you got there is your rank. And so we have to balance out that rank with other people of the rank, especially if you're gonna queue with other people, like let's say in a 2 or let's say in a duo or in a trio. And so we have to adjust for that. But in the process, you're going to get some guys who are going to be lagging if they're not on their main roles. Like really hard, actually, if they're not on their main roles. That's how it's going to be because you have to balance it out because the other team has the same thing too. They have the same issue, you could argue. Which he's kind of proving it. I'm not going to lie to you. He's kind of proved it. But you know, that's what I think, at least. All right, let's see here. Let's continue.
So, Why do some matches feel uneven? Why do certain players encounter win or loss streaks? We would like to take this opportunity to provide some insights, hoping to clarify some of the confusion for everyone.
All right, get your fucking notepads up.
Oh, wait, really? I thought we had them out from the beginning. Fuck.
No.
Match balance.
Well, no. People are just like, bro, why am I losing then if there's no engagement matchmaking? I was like, well, here you go.
All right, let's go. Hold on.
This is from the horse's mouth. What does he say is the answer?
True. In a competitive two-sided game,
the fewer players on each side, the more accurately the competitive score reflects individual skill. However, as team size increases, this accuracy drops, since even if both teams have identical average scores,
the characters
like teamwork,
coordination can sway
the outcome.
Right.
Additionally, because we don't lock rows,
so we have it, so it's like, all right, yeah, no, whenever teams like increase, you get more like coordination and whatever have you. But, you know, when your team is smaller, you don't have as much of that anymore. And it's just like, well, damn, it's really unfortunate that we can't play 6 stacks anymore. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but again, but remember last time.
I mean, we know why.
Yes,
we know why.
Yeah.
But, yes, fucking speed. I'm
speed.
Yeah, I get that, but like, fuck, man, I don't care, man. Dude, give me. It's like, oh no, unfortunately, I had to wait 20 seconds instead of 2. Oh no.
But other factors like teamwork and coordination sway. But like kind of saying, like, other factors also sway too. Like, and I think also it's characters' mains. Like, that also sways a lot.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Additionally,
right here,
because we don't lock rows, players might end up playing a role
less comfortable with, right?
Which means they may not perform at their rank's full potential. Even if you are assigned your preferred role, playing a hero you are less skilled with can also affect your impact in the match.
Yo, this might be the best video. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I think he's sniping. Yeah. I think they're sniping right now. They're sniping it.
Yeah, like I adamantly, and I was kind of waiting for this. I adamantly 100% believe, even more, like, because people complain about it in Overwatch. I think it's even more so in this game than in Overwatch. Role queue is a terrible idea in this game.
I'm willing to bet. Also, hold on real quick.
Bad.
Yo, Black Ice in chat just said, "You don't care? Yeah, I care. I'm not waiting." Well, there it is.
Look, I can't fix people having short ass attention spans. I can't fix that. There's nothing I can do about that.
No. But yeah, okay, so I just realized something. If you have a situation in this game, because I think, do you need role queue when you have hero bans? I don't think so, honestly. I think that's kind of the point.
No, and also I feel like it is like, we kind of talked about it earlier about how, like, sometimes it's better to stick to the characters that you're playing as, but the opposite is also true. Sometimes there is times where it's just like, nah, this guys aren't working. We got to swap things around.
Yes.
But, oh no, I'm only locked into tanks. And the other 2 tanks that I play as are banned. Well,
right, that's some yeah. So that means that you're only allowed to play, let's say, one other tank, and you may not even know that tank at all. Or let's say if you play Emma Frost and Captain America, Emma Frost is banned. Okay, I play Captain America. Okay, but he's not working. When I need to play another tank, I just know how to play. What the fuck? Yeah.
Because I've been trying to learn some more characters, but I have been recently been running into an interesting problem that's actually exactly what I'm just talking about. Because if you've noticed, 2 characters that have been pretty commonly banned lately, Emma Frost and Hulk.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys I play as.
Yeah.
And who does that leave if those 2 are gone? Strange. And guess what happens if my Strange ain't working?
Right.
I have to play Mag, who I haven't fully gotten competent playing Compin yet.
Yeah, no, I feel the same thing too.
So it's like,
like there are times where,
so even if you learn multiple characters in a role, if you
in one role, right?
If you have role queue, that could fuck you up. We then have the other thing to talk about, which is, quite frankly, look, man, triple support is a thing. Other mishmash role.
Yes, I was gonna say the exact same thing too. I was gonna say the same thing. Yes.
And then also,
if you play, because I'll say, like, if you play double support, and that's what's gonna be, and your role queue locked in, that's gonna phase out like Ultron and Adam Warlock almost immediately, almost instantly, because they will never perform this unless you ban two supports. Unless you ban both Luna Snow and Loki, or you ban Luna Snow and let's say Cloak and Dagger, then okay, fine. But you can still, let's say, play like. Basically, Ultron gets phased out, essentially, of any sort of meta, and the same thing goes for Adam Warlock, probably, because they will not be able to put like down the same heals as the other support characters. They just can't manage it. It's just, no. Oh shit. So like, because it's like because again, right now I'm using Overwatch here. In Overwatch, I feel like when you had 6 players in base Overwatch, that was actually a lot more. I heard players say it's not more fun because you could do certain. Yeah, you had goats meta, fair enough. But if you had hero bans, you just ban Brig and you're fine. But that being said, if you just have unique tank like synergies, like I remember playing Orisa and Roadhog, where like Orisa does the pull. Roadhog, you hook him into your team and you annihilate. Or you have like the synergies of like Zarya plus let's say Reinhardt. That was a great synergy. Or let's say you had tank synergies that you kind of necessarily can't tap into anymore if you have role queue where it's forced 2-2-2, or let's say you go 5 where you go like 1-2-2 or something like that, where you lose on some variety. And again, a lot of these DPS, a lot of the tanks, or a lot of the supports will get phased out almost instantly when you're locked into role queue.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people that have been questioning, like, okay, yeah, I hear all that, but why do you make a big emphasis on it being worse in this game? It's because this game has something that none of the other games have, and that's team-ups. The fact that you can vary around and switch into different team-ups whenever you switch your comp around is a huge deal that is not in other games. I'm not necessarily saying that's better or worse. I'm just saying that is a factor. That's a fact. That's a very good point. In other games.
Yes, that's actually a very, very good point. Yes, the team-ups exist. And because they exist, if you roll Q or if you roll lock, you're kind of fucked. If you don't, like, it fucks with some, especially with the bans. So the roll queue plus the bans, certain teams are going to be ceased to exist or be almost non-existent in the first place. Like why they here in the first place? Like you can have, oh shit, man! Like the Fantastic Four team could be snuffed out. A lot of it with the roll queue stuff. You can also snuff out, I think. Actually, I think maybe most of Johnny's team ups, because then you're kind of forced to. Damn, son, because Johnny has like a bunch of team ups.
I actually did check for the sake of curiosity. Turns out it's not the case anymore, but there used to be a team up in this game that to have all 3 people in the team up would literally make roll queue an impossibility. You remember when Black Panther, Psylocke, and Magic all had the same team up?
Oh, true.
That's
true.
3
Yeah,
DPS.
yeah. That's gone now, but yeah, they have to rearrange all the team ups. Yeah, right.
It's not the case anymore, and currently there isn't any like team up that has 3 of any role in it currently. So fair enough. That kind of dissuades that factor.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact of just like, come on, man. Like I like playing Hulk, and we got like a Namor. But then it's just like, man, I don't know. Maybe like Penny Rocket would be better. I'm not playing fucking Penny, but I can play Rocket.
Right. But because you're the tank, and you're locked into that role of tank, now that you're queuing as a tank, you have no other choice but to try either play Penny, which you do not play at all, or you have to wing out on Hulk and then already lose the situation. Because your bans, then let's say you didn't ban Wolverine Never Frost, and they're running Wolverine Never Frost, and you're playing Hulk, like, oh shit. So it's like, oof, good luck with that. Yeah, so okay, this is actually a fair fucking point. Because as the game gets longer and longer, there's going to be more and more team-ups added into the game, right? And so there are going to be some situations where no matter how you slice it, these team-ups are not going to work out well in a rogue situation. Yeah, hey, that's a great fucking point. That's a great point.
Yeah, no, I have had not lengthy debates because usually people quit pretty early. But like, I've had debates with people. It's like, oh, bro, this game needs roll queues. Like, no, it fucking doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't. It absolutely does not.
That is a valid point. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's strong, like diamond. All right, let's continue.
So, why don't we add row queue? First, we believe that allowing players the freedom to play as their favorite superheroes and team up
True.
with
The
others
fantasy.
to create diverse creative team campus encourages more varied strategies and gameplay.
Gameplays, yes.
Second, adding role-based matchmaking would significantly increase queue times, while still failing to fully eliminate skill
Oh man, look at that! Yet again,
Speed!
where there
they
are
really
there
fucking
will be
care. They
differences.
really do.
Again, I mean, listen, Black was already in chat saying, listen, I'm not waiting, bro. You give me a queue now. It is what it
Unfortunate.
is.
Oh, man.
It is what it is,
Oh,
bro.
so sad.
People want to get queued and we don't get queued now. Yo, we want speed. Speed.
Look, dude, I
it's-
definitely feel like there is an element of people have been spoiled by how fast the queue times are in this game. Because, like, yeah, having immediate queue times is really cool and all, but trust me, you are not going to die if you have to wait 20 seconds.
Nah,
You will live.
Nah, don't do that. Nah, don't
You
tell 'em that,
will
bro.
live, I promise you.
Don't
You
tell 'em that,
will
bro.
have enough time to go and have your wank session at the end of the day. You will, I promise.
Let's go.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
quite challenging to have an equal number of players across the 3 rows. To strike a balance between matchmaking speed and fairness,
Okay.
the competitive score ranges for each row would have to differ. Rows with fewer players would have lower competitive score thresholds, while rows with more players would require higher thresholds.
Yo, you know what the fuck he just said? Damn, son. If we did roll queue, and because there's so many DPS characters,
Yeah.
and because that's the most popular role,
Yep.
you have a higher threshold of getting points to perform. So they're just telling you,
Yep.
if we do roll queue, supports and tanks are going to get more points, or they have a lower threshold to perform compared to the DPS characters, which is the most popular role. So they're telling you,
Yep.
DPS mans are fucked if roll queue comes. Damn.
Now, to be fair, this was the exact same problem Overwatch had, basically.
Hey, you know what? You're right. You're right. I've heard this before. Yes, because you only have one tank player in the game, the tanks are like over fucking tuned to a like god tier because you only one tank, and then because of that too, it's like the tank's performance can't be weighed the same when you have 2 DPS characters that have to also pull their weight. But they have to do more because there's 2 of them. And also, you have 2 support characters that are not weighted as much as the tank because the support characters, they're weighted differently by their healing performance. So a lot of burden is put on the DPS in that situation. And because, again, they're the most players. So the most people that play this game play DPS characters, for sure. But damn, he's just saying, listen, we're going to raise your bar by order of magnitude. Christ.
Yep.
All right. Cakes and candies, Cole. Okay.
This, in turn, will lead to greater variance in match quality.
Greater branch and match quality,
We are
right?
working to introduce more interesting vanguards
morning.
and strategies in
Well, you're late,
Sup, dude?
I just woke up.
or
I've
I
been
guess
as-
early.
It's
I've been
2
asleep
o'clock in the morning.
since. Yeah, I've just been asleep since 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, we're almost done. So,
So what have they said so far? I
A lot.
woke up.
I mean,
I'm not even gonna
a
go
lot. They said a lot.
Yeah. Y'all watched the video, but I mean, we broke it down for like almost an hour. I mean, I'll post it on my channel too, but it's like almost an hour and 30 minutes. You know.
Yeah, just
good
post it
morning,
in the channel and I'll watch it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you continue here.
future updates to give players more choices. But
man,
these changes
sleep.
will take time to develop.
Woke up
We
at 2.
thank you for your patience.
All right. Well, what time is it where he's at? I
Okay.
don't know.
Same as me.
Statistically,
Oh, what the fuck?
Statistically, win-loss
streaks
streaks.
are a matter of probability. For example, if 2 sides are
fair.
truly
It's gonna be 2
50-50,
a.m. That's
over
your
3
answer.
games,
Okay.
the chance of 3
Go to bed.
consecutive win or losses
All right, focus up. Hold on.
over 3 games,
Oh, I'm here. I'm
the
here.
chance of 3 consecutive win or losses is 12.5%. Over 10 games, the chance of 3 or more wins or losses in a row rises to 50%. So, over enough games, everyone will eventually experience win or loss streaks.
If they're including 3 or more wins or losses, yeah, he's kind of got a point. Probably like over the course of time, statistically, the more you win or lose, the more advanced, probability, more of the others gonna wind up happening. Just in terms of probability, yes.
And that kind of is going to be the other element, which unfortunately this will always be the case no matter what. There's borderline an impossibility to be able to reduce this factor, and it's the reality is that unless you are, and even if you are, it's just not as big of a degree. Like, let's just say you're six stacking. Even if you are six stacking to a minor extent, it's just, a little less. There will always be an element of luck on how well you will do in team-based games like this.
True.
That will always be the case no matter what.
Correct, because your performance will always change. Like, you won't be like the same. Like, you may either be doing really, really poor, or really, really, really good. Like, from game to game, it just changes. Like, it also assumes like you're at the same performance at every game with that character or all character, which of course not the case, obviously.
Yeah, and there will be times where, like, even like, we joke about the the EOMM agents and shit like that, but like, sometimes you are just going to get a random string of games where, like, 3 times in a row, you get one random guy who maybe this is his first game on, or maybe it's late as fuck and he's kind of tired. Or maybe he accidentally, like, dropped his controller for a second or some shit like that.
And then he DCs or like, I'm sure it's
And so it's just like, sometimes you are just going to get the short end of the stick and you're just gonna get fucked over. Like,
and then this game also tries to compensate you for that anyway. Like, if someone DCs, then you get performance adjustments and then you want them losing less points when that happens anyway.
I mean, jokes aside, like, earlier in the morning, I went against like I had a few people that were called the EOMM agents, and they were actually throwing the game for everybody. So
yeah, I mean, I've had throwers on stream throw my matches for sure. I mean,
like, their names were the EOMM agents.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
it was their name, and they were actually throwing the game.
That's what they do. Okay, fuck them though. I mean, if you can, ban them. That's it. That's what you can really do. Report them. All right.
For those interested, you can use tools to calculate the...
They're saying that a streak is 3 or more. That's what it is. So whether we lost or win, they calculate as 3.
Probability of achieving a streak, whether it's 5 consecutive wins or 5 consecutive losses, under different win rate scenarios over 10 matches. Of course, the game isn't pure math. Several in-game factors can increase the likelihood and impact of streaks, making these experiences feel more pronounced. For example, team average scores are rarely perfectly balanced, so actually win rates may not be exactly 50%.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When queuing consecutively,
like the examples before. Well, real quick. The examples before were like the perfect scenario examples of diamond and plat players, but that's not gonna be the case, obviously, where there will be times where it's skewed to one team over the team just based on ranking. Yeah, that's gonna happen no matter what. But that's something you have to just overcome and deal with through either teamwork, your own skills, and so on and so forth. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah, go ahead, Revan.
I actually appreciate that he's actually taking the time and explaining all of this when I haven't seen a single other developer that has like this sort of like game mentality. Like,
well, I'll say the same thing. Yeah, like I'll say like this to me is like the best video. I think it's the best Marvel thing they've done. I think it's the best video.
They actually have taken the time to explain how all of this works when games like League of Legends, Dota 2 have existed for over a decade, and they haven't given a single fuck about explaining how their matchmaking works.
Well, I mean, we talked about this earlier, but like, I genuinely feel like the reason that this video even exists is because they literally had to make it, because this was like the one thing that everyone unanimously would be like, hey, yo, this shit sucks. We need to know what's going on. And they're like, all right, fine, because there's definitely an undertone throughout this entire video of like, all right, y'all guys keep saying our shit sucks. We're gonna fucking tell you how our shit works.
Well,
fuck off.
No, I mean, I don't know, because like there were times where that was the case for Overwatch too, but it just felt like people didn't complain as much, or no, I'm sorry, like people complain about it, but over the course of time they just kind of fade out because the game was still overall relatively good, and I think people were more concerned about, let's say, other things like the Overwatch Pro scene and things of that sort. But I think that, and maybe because of how things have changed since 2016, obviously it's almost in 10 years since Overwatch came out, so people are more online, more socially engaged, and also keep in mind that Marvel Rivals, when it comes to how they operate, they are a game dev studio team that is way more into like the current lexicon of things than I think other I've seen like developers. I think you could argue like in the same field, where like they'll see a meme online and then they'll make that to an emote to like, you know, a week later, or like they'll see someone do a fan art of, let's say, a certain character, and then they'll actually make that to a skin. It's like, oh, so like these guys, they're not just like, you know, in the corner doing their own thing. They're actually like paying attention to like the whole social media hub, and they're actively incorporating that into the game, which is impressive.
They definitely have like a band of dudes that they've hired that essentially their sole job is just to scour the internet for usable memes that aren't like hyper cringe to put into their game.
Probably, yeah. And also skin ideas, and also you know, maybe voice lines even too. Like all these things are probably like really looking forward to. I mean, they're looking into for sure in the community what are popular. And so because they have that sort of you know, they have that sort of reputation, there's a good chance that if they were to ignore this, it would kind of go against a lot of what they've been kind of doing. So they had to address it. And honestly, like, to be fair, I mean, I think they've addressed it masterfully. I mean, based on what he's saying before, I understand now why EOMM, even though it feels it's the case, it makes the most sense as to why it's not the case, especially if you're solo queuing. But it's, I think, also more so if you're playing in teams. I think the idea of playing with a team, if you're playing with a duo or a trio, that's where things get more noticeable, because that's like, yeah, we have a guy on our team that's like, he's not up to par. But it's also because they're doing it to balance it out, because your whole team is like X amount of average rating. Because if I'm playing with KH and KH is, let's say he's GM3 and I'm GM1, our average rating is now a GM2. So we have to adjust for that with guys that are either GM2, if they can find them, or if they can't find them, we have to have one other GM1 guy and then a GM3 or a Diamond 1 dude. That's how it's going to have to adjust. So that's, you know, that's why it makes a lot more sense now.
I don't think you should even be looking for a Diamond 1, because that would be too... No, I'm not. Wide. It's not me looking for it. It's how the game balances out the match.
That's what the game does.
Yeah, that's what the game does. Yeah,
that's what I was referring to. Like,
well, I mean, I mean, I feel like it would. I mean, despite the fact of it not being fun, quote unquote, the reality is that if you're allowed to match up and queue in with those people from the jump, then theoretically, at a certain point, they will kind of try to ping in people from like the higher or lower ranks, even if that, I mean, and that kind of goes into partially what we talked about earlier, which is like, okay, well, how long are we waiting before we start queuing in those random other people?
Exactly.
We don't know.
And that's why they don't want to stick, because like the reason why they've kind of eliminated, I think, 4-stacking, 6-stacking is because they talk about, and in this video, he's mentioning speed a lot. Like he's talking about queuing in immediately or queuing as fast as you can. If you 6-stack, it's going to be a longer queue time. But the idea is that
some of the pro players and the content creators like just going insane in competitive.
I mean, like maybe,
they were climbing way too fast, and it was making it rather unfair and difficult for other people that are solo queue to actually have a fair chance to climb themselves. I
don't think that matters. I'll be with you. I mean, streamers and content creators are a very, 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 very small pool of players in the player base. I mean, you can argue that if they 6-stack, then they get, let's say, 6 against like pro players, and they're just getting annihilated by pros if they're online. But like, I think the idea is that because he said before too, it's like 4-stacking, 6-stacking means like longer wait times essentially. And he's been adamant about speed.
It does.
Speed. He's all about, you know, they're saying we want speed.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to make it off as if it's like there's a disbalance of like how well we can make not just a fast game go, but a fast and balanced game go.
Balanced game, right.
But we then yet again have to ask the question, how long are we having to wait before we start getting unbalanced? Are we talking like 10 seconds and suddenly we're now throwing in random people? It's like,
we had a guy in chat said, listen, I want in as fast as possible, bro. We have evidence in real time.
Look, I want to be able to, like, I want to start my queue, and before I even take a bite of my chicken nugget that's on the plate next to me, I'm already in the match.
Correct.
I'm already in.
Woo! Man, this is crazy.
I have to drop that shit fast. I was like, oh fuck! All right, and we're back in. I don't even wash my hands. We're back in.
You know how long I'm waiting for this? Yeah, 5 seconds. Woo!
I mean, that's the thing, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, look, I think it's a cool thing about this game, but I ain't gonna hold you. The really quick queue times that are in this game are making people spoiled, bro.
I'm not. I don't deny it, but there is a benefit to it, bro, because you're not waiting. Again, listen, Overwatch, you had 45-minute wait times, and you're playing other games. That's not that's a dead game. That's a game that's like kicking the bucket at that point. It's like, damn, son. And again, speed is the tension. You're locked in more, and then you can play more games over the course of the day. Like, you can, like, in a 7-hour window, you can play, like, how many matches? You can probably play, I want to see you can play like 10 matches maybe in 7 hours, probably more than that. That's a lot of fucking matches, bro. Whereas, like, in Overwatch, again, I'm using comparison, within that window of time, you're probably playing maybe 5 or maybe 4 even, depending on, like, how long wait times are. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus. But yeah, either way.
Yeah, no, and someone in chat is saying it. Basically, it's just like, bro, good luck starting queue, and it's like, oh shit, I gotta go to the bathroom real fast.
Right.
Good fucking luck.
Right. Already in. Boom. What's up, dude? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like, remember that one time that Jay was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go food. Nah, queues match.
Yeah, queues match. Nope, sorry, dude. Oh, no, damn, my food's outside. Like, nope. Yeah, that shit's waiting. That shit's getting cold. Sorry, dude.
You're with us now.
You ain't leaving. You ain't going nowhere. Saddle up, Seabiscuit. You ain't going nowhere.
Right. You may face some of the same players in back-to-back games, which can carry over the outcome chance from previous
match. Yeah, we had before happen to us when we fixed that.
This is even more common in team matchmaking.
Yep.
Where the pool of available combinations is smaller, especially during off-peak hours or in less populated
regions. Okay, makes sense.
Even if the probability of a streak occurring is just 1%, Marvel Rivals' large player base means many will experience that.
Okay.
In other words, hey man, sometimes shit happens.
Exactly.
Feedback and refining our systems. Your trust and input help us shape a better experience. Thank you for being part of the Marvel Rivals community. We are excited to keep improving with you.
Okay, nice. Yeah, listen, that to me, honestly, is probably the best video I've seen. Honestly, we spent like almost 2 hours breaking that down. And that was like valuable information. That actually helped a lot, I think, with like actually like with this full break that we kind of did. I think I understand this game a lot better now, and I'm actually convinced there's no EOMM at this point in time. Yeah, there's situations where things suck, and obviously you can't account for everything. You can't account for every dude doing fuck shit, guys that are throwing, guys that are their rank but only, let's say, 1 or 2 characters, and they're banned characters, like, oh shit. But the system that they described and how they balance it out with the ranks predominantly, not by the characters, but by the ranks, right? That I think is an important distinction here. But for me, though, I think my biggest issue is still the point system, where, yeah, like the whole thing between like the rank differentials and so on. I'm not a big fan of the point system, but I understand that a lot better now. But I'm still like, that's what I think the biggest issue is. I think it's the points, not the rank or not the matchmaking stuff, but the points. But I think this video slaps. Honestly, I think it slaps.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people were hoping, and I feel like a lot of people were hoping that this was going to be the video saying, all right, here is our plans about how we're fixing comp. And it's like, that's not what this video is. And I'm sure some people are going to be upset about that. However, what this video is doing, which I think is something that is at least very helpful, is, and again, I feel like I have to say it repeatedly, this isn't necessarily saying we 100% think it's all good and great, but we at least understand what's happening now.
Yes, we do. We do.